Okay, so um, the last time we talked about constants and operators. So we'll do a quick recap on constants and operators. So we saw
Okay.
that a constant was a way to store a value that will not change in the course of
Okay.
program. So at the end of
All
that
right.
step, you saw that we can create a constant by using the keyword define, then with brackets, then the name of the constant that you want to create, then the value that you want to give it to it, giving it a string, number, that's integer, or anything
Okay.
like this. So we can create a constant like this, and we can call the constant by the name
Okay.
without, unlike the variable, creation of variable where you have to call it by using the dollar sign, then the name of the variable. With PHP constant, we use the name to call the constant, or we can use the keyword constant, then bracket, then the name of the constant like this to call the constant.
Okay.
And we talked about operators. So the operators, um, we learn about the arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and the rest.
Division. Yeah.
Yeah, multiplication, division, then the modulo, like this. Then
Okay.
we also talk about the something like the comparison operators. So the comparison operators, we end up to see equal to whether a variable or a certain thing is equal to the other, or not equal
Okay.
to, not equal to. And we also came about the greater than, that's the less than, greater than. We have the less than or equal to,
Okay.
and greater than or equal to as the um, comparison operators. So we would like to continue from the operators
All right.
from today. So today we will talk about the logical operators and then the assignment operators.
All right.
So when you talk of the logical operators, we have the and. Um, we have and. Um, okay, so the logical operators, we have the and. So with the end, we have this end, or we can use this symbol to represent end. So it's either this and this. So we use this to represent end. In PHP, you can use this or that. And we have the
Okay.
or. So the logical or is either we use or like this or this straight slash, a straight line.
Okay.
It can be found um, right after the left-handed shift.
Okay.
It's a second, so it's either we use this or that. So it's a logical operator. So this work if the two statement that, so it's either, let's say Kofi, it's Kofi and Ama. So this statement is true when we have Kofi and we have Ama
Okay.
and we have the or. So either Kofi or Ama. So if I don't have Kofi and I have Ama, I can still move on. But with the
All right.
end, unless both are true,
All right.
and we have the not as part of the logical operator. So we
Okay.
can say if Kofi maybe not Ama or not equal to Ama
Okay.
like this. So let me create first. Let me on my XAMPP. That's my Apache. So I'll move to my start menu, then search for XAMPP. I'll search for XAMPP. Okay. So I have my XAMPP. I'll start my Apache. So this is what I need for the tutorial. I'll minimize it. So I'll create a new file.
Okay.
Then I'll save it. So anytime that you want to save a PHP file, you have to save it in your server. So that's the local host.
All
So
right.
C, then you come to your XAMPP folder,
Jump.
then htdocs. So there you can save your file here, either in the folder or just the file ID. So um, operators operators.php. Then
Okay.
I click on save. So I write the basic code for PHP,
Okay.
greater than less than, then PHP, then question mark greater than. So inside this, that I'll write my code. Okay.
Okay.
Um, okay. So um, I write to. I'm trying to explain. Let me try to explain something. Okay. For example, let me create a variable a. Let me give it 10, and I'll create another variable b and give it, let's say, 20, like this. So if I try to use the logical operator and, so I can say if today we'll discuss about the decision making, but let me try to. So if um, a, like the variable a,
Uh-huh.
is equal to 10, and so I can use this or I can use this. So and variable b is equal to, maybe is equal to, so we use is equal to. When you use the single equal to, meaning we are assigning 10 to A. So this time we are
Okay.
comparing. So we use the double. It's equal to 20. So
Okay.
meaning this statement is true because we have A to be 10, then B to be 20. So if
All right.
this the A is 10 and B is 20, then we can display something like this statement is true, like this. Then
Okay.
let's use the else part. Else, let's display that the statement is false, like this. So I will
Okay.
save. Then I'll try to run it in a browser. Okay, okay. This is my browser. So I'll try to navigate. So I'll use the local host, then forward slash, then the name of the file. So operators dot php. Set syntax error, unexpected if. Let's move back to the code.
I think the on the 20, the B, the line
Oh
3,
yeah, thanks.
line 3, line 3.
Save,
Okay,
then refresh. So I have this statement is true. So supposing that
yeah,
we have the b to be 30, and we are comparing if a is equal to 10 and variable b is equal to 20, display this statement is true. I'll save it, then refresh. So we have the statement is false because b here is not 20. Please hope you understand.
okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I
Okay, so
understand.
let's move to the second part. That's the or statement. Okay, let
Okay,
me use the same one. So let's say if variable a is equal to 10, or so variable b is equal to 20. So it's either the first one is true or the next one is true, or they are all true. So let me change it back to 20 again, save it, then let me refresh my browser. So I have this statement is true because a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20. Let me change it back to 30 again, save it, refresh. I still have this statement is true because one of the arguments is true, but the other is false.
okay,
So this statement becomes false when both A and B are not corresponding to the value. So if I change this one
okay,
to be 20 like this, so A is not equal to 10 and B is not equal to 20. So this time around, the statement becomes false. So let's,
okay.
um, so the statement is false. And please hope you understand.
Yeah, very well.
Okay. So let me try with the last one. That's the not operator, the logical not operator.
Okay,
So let's look at something. I'll take off this and I'll use maybe the end sign and I'll try to put them. Okay. And so assuming um let me put a bracket here and let me try to bring a not sign here. Okay, so save. So if a is not working as okay, so the not sign, then this. Okay, so dollar sign a maybe is equal to um, let's say 10 and p is equal to maybe 20. Oh, sorry. Instead, and okay. So if the not, so if this, I mean, if this statement is true, because of this not, it will negate the information, so it becomes false. Please, do you understand? Please. So if statement becomes true because of the not sign, it will negate it. So this time around, our statement is false because b is not equal to 20. It's rather 30. So this time around, because this statement is false, it turns it to become true. So let me try to save it and refresh. So we have it to be true because um, a is equal to 10 and but b is not equal to 20. So in case I change this one to be 30, this time around it becomes true and this statement making it false. So save it, refresh. So have the statement to be true. So if not something, so assuming I can do something like this. If not dollar sign a and variable b, so this statement is true and this statement is true because they all contain a value. So if this and this, and the negation of this, the whole of this. So if meaning if this and this is not true, please hope you understand how the not operator works. Please, can I move on?
Yeah.
Okay. So um, I'll move to the logical operators. So okay, this was the. So I'll move to the next part. So this was the logical operators. I'll move to the assignment operators. So the assignment operators are the equal to, not equal to. So we have the assignment operators. So we have something like this and that. Last part, we have the equal to, you can have the minus equal to, then you can also have multiply equal to, then you can also have division equal to, and also you can have modulo equal to. So let's take them one by one. So I have a variable a to be 20, then b to be 30. So let's start with the equal to sign. That's the assign operator. So the assign, I'll create a new variable c equal to, so meaning a plus variable b. So meaning that I am adding this, and I want to store it in C. Please hope you understand.
Yeah.
So I'm adding A and B, and I'll store it in C. So I can then try to echo the C out to have the value of, so echo um, variable C. I'll save, then refresh my browser. So I have 50. That's the addition of A and B. So that's the assign operator. It's always the right hand side being put. So I have 50 here, so I can assign a new variable here. So echo this. So this time around, it should be 50, but I'm assigning a new variable. So I want to assign a new variable. That's variable A. So this time around, it will clear the 50 that we've already have here and assign the variable A, that's the 20 to it. So you have 20 as the output or the outcome. So save, refresh. So I have 20 instead of 50. Please hope you understand. Please, can I move on?
Yes,
Okay. So let's move to the other part. So we've done with the assignment, assign operator. So we can move to the plus and equal to. Okay. So for example, I create variable maybe A, then I bring this plus, then equal to B, like this. Is the same as saying that, okay, this variable A, I want to add variable A and B and B, then I'll store it in A again. This simple expression that I have here is the same as this. So I want to add A and B, then I'll store it in A again. So I can have a variable B, then I want to add to A, then store it in B, like this. So I can do it like this. So instead of variable B is equal to variable maybe A plus variable B, like this. Please hope you understand.
yeah,
Okay, so now let me clear this because we have the similar thing. Okay, so variable A plus equal to variable B is like adding A and B and storing it back to A. So this time around, when I try to echo variable A, I'll get 50 instead of 20, like this. So refresh. I have 50 instead of 20. This is because we've added A and B, then we store it in A again. It's the same as the minus equal to variable B. So it's just like um, subtracting A from B, then storing it back to A, like this. So when I try to do this, I'll have the answer to be 10 instead of 20. So let me save it back again, then refresh. So I have minus 10 because the minus sign is affecting this B. Please hope you understand. So let's move to the um, multiplication one. So with the multiplication, it's also the same. So it's like variable A, then we are multiplying variable A by variable B and storing it in A again. So instead of when you display, instead of having 20, you have the result of the multiplication of A and B. That's 20 by 30. So we have 1,000, 18,000 to be our answer. And we can also, okay, I'm sorry, we still have the same answer. It's 600 like this. So that's um, the same as the division. So we can do it the same for the division, which also means the same as um, variable A, then we are dividing A by variable B like this. So this is what it means. And please hope I'm not moving fast. Okay, so let me try to display the answer in the browser for us to see. So we have 0.6866 to be an answer. So that is for the division. So we can try the modulo sign. So we use percentage to represent modulo. Save, and we have 20. So the modulo picks the higher number, not the remainder. So we are through with the operators. Please, is there any question?
No.
Okay, so uh, let's move to something new. Um, let's talk about decision. So we can make decision with PHP, just like what I did. Earlier on, I used the if statement. So this is a decision based on different conditions. So um, let's move to decision making. Okay, so uh, we can make decision based on some certain um, principles, something information that we have. So we can have the condition. We can have a condition, and if the condition is true, we can say that it should perform a certain um, function for us, or a certain task rather. Let me put it that way, a certain task for us. And if the condition is false, it should perform a task for us. Please hope you understand. So in
Yes.
PHP, we can use um, the if statement to make decision. So we use the if. It comes with if, then we have the else if aspect, else if, then the else aspect too. So we have the if